What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about foaming your car. Personally I love a ton of super thick foam that clings onto the panel of the vehicle and gives it time to work. I get tons of questions from people though, like saying, hey, shouldn't it be runnier so that it actually can run down the side of the vehicle or on the flat surfaces and actually rinse some of the stuff away? So let's talk about that. In my opinion, why thick foam is better than runny thin foam. Okay, so I already kind of talked about it briefly. Why do I like thick foam? Well, here's the reason. I want my foam cannon to produce the most amount of foam because I want that foam to stick on the panel. The longer that it's sticking onto the panel, the longer it has to break down all the contamination on the surface of the paint. Now, I don't recommend just, now, let me change that. let me rephrase that. The only times that I will actually just do a rinse, foam it, and then rinse again and be done with the vehicle, dry it up, is if it's a super well-maintained vehicle. I have some customers that are like that, which I'm very thankful for. It makes my life easier. Other than that, I'm still going in for a contact wash. Now, that's where people kind of wonder, hey, shouldn't it be runnier so that you're creating more lubrication on the paint, so that when you're going to your contact wash, you're not going to introduce any marring or light scratches or anything like that. Well, here's my thoughts on this. Okay, so I always start off by rinsing the whole vehicle down to break loose any of the light contamination that's on the surface of the vehicle anyway. So I'm not approaching a vehicle that's just sitting there dry and then going straight to foam. The reason I don't do that, like I said, is I want to break loose anything that will just come off. So I'll give it an initial rinse and then I foam. Now, the initial rinse creates a little bit of lubrication, right? There's some water on the surface. Part number two, though, is I come in with the foam cannon. It's gonna throw so much foam onto it, and it sticks on there, and I'll show you guys a little clip here. But basically, it stacks onto the surface so strong, it sits there, it's able to stay on there longer and get to work, breaking down all the contamination on the paint. And then you'll see the whole, it's like an avalanche really, a whole sheet of thick foam just starts sliding down the panel. And all that's doing, it's breaking everything up, creating tons of lubrication in there and taking it all away, so that it makes it easier for me when I go in for my contact wash. Another thing, like I said, people talk about lubrication. Well, if you're using a good soap that has good lubrication in it, one for example that's a really good price is Meguiar's Gold Class. It has a ton of lubrication in it. And it doesn't matter the thickness of the foam, it's still gonna give you a ton of lubrication. It's just that thickness is able to sit on the panel longer and get to work longer and break everything down, making my life easier. Now, after all that stuff rinses away, right, all the sheeting and everything comes off from the foam, then I'll go in with a bucket method, a traditional bucket method. I'll have soap in my bucket and I'll go and I'll do my contact wash. There's still lubrication on the paint from the foam. There's less stuff to actually go and agitate because the foam did such a good job of rinsing it all away. And anything that's left over is easier to come off because the heavy, thick foam from that soap was able to break it down. So instead of having like a hard rock, it's basically broken down into, say, dirt. Right? That's a weird analogy. Let's say, So instead of having a dried on, complete piece of contamination, bird poop or whatever else, that soap broke that down, broke away all the particles, and it makes it easier for me to remove with my contact wash. Again, bird poop, if it's thick, I'm hitting it with my pressure washer in my initial rinse. Bird poop is super nasty. It's acidic. It can have little hard chunks of stuff in it, and you don't want that being brought across your paint when you go to wipe it away. So I always go in with my pressure washer and get that stuff off as much as possible before. But again, having the foam sit on there, it breaks down, makes everything nice and loose so it rinses away easily. All right, now there are a few ways you can actually get more foam from your foam cannon. You can either just buy one that gets a ton of foam. I've reviewed a bunch of foam cannons, stuff from starting at like 15 bucks all the way up to $100. And the three that I found that got the most foam are the MTM. I'll link to all of these down in the description below for you guys, but the MTM, the Griot's Boss foam cannon, and the MJJC foam cannon Pro. I'll link all of those down below. I'll also link the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro unbranded. I have them on my site. I imported a bunch of them, so I have them in stock and I can get them out to you guys really quickly. But basically, if you just want to go with a cheap foam cannon, I always recommend the Amazon Basics is a good choice. It's sub 20 bucks. And I have a video coming up. The next video that I'm going to post is actually going to be touching base on all the myths around foam cannons. Does the orifice size actually make a difference? Do just the different types of soaps actually make a difference? Does having warm water or distilled water in your foam cannon produce more foam? I've heard that a ton, and I'm gonna be touching base on that in the next video. We're gonna be testing all of it to see exactly if it actually does make a difference or not. Now, with those cheaper foam cannons, you do lose some features compared to the more expensive ones. Aside from actual foam production and how well the more expensive ones foam, you also lose out on wide mouth openings. You can find some cheaper ones with a wide mouth opening, but these ones also can turn the head from shooting vertical to shooting horizontal, which is a nice feature when you're working on the roof of cars and all that kind of stuff. You're able to get all of the foam on the surface of the vehicle as opposed to spraying over it with a bunch of it. It's not as efficient and effective as some of these other ones that can turn. So, but again, next video, make sure you're subscribed, and you'll be able to find out all that information. Now, I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong about this situation. It's just, I've been detailing cars for about 16 years, honestly only using a foam cannon for maybe 6 or 8 years. I don't know, I'm bad with time. But since they came out, I was able to get amazing results before I started using a foam cannon when they weren't around. But now that they're around, they make your life easier. And in my personal opinion, thicker foam makes it even easier than a runny foam. So when you're using a soap, right, whether it goes on runny or nice and thick, in my opinion, it's just the thickness of that foam sticking to the panel makes it more effective. It's doing a better job cleaning. It's able to get more work done because it's on there longer. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like your foam super thick, like shaving cream going onto the car, it's really more fun to work with when it's like that. Honestly, it's a cool effect. And I will say that I've had it, working mobily out at jobs. People see that and they come up because it's something they don't see every day. And when you're showing them that kind of stuff, it pulls them in and you're able to get more clients out of it. So that's it, guys. I hope that helps. Please make sure to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one.